everyone. I'm Tomi Lahren along with Katie Pavlich, Griff Jenkins, and Raymond Arroyo, and welcome to the Big Weekend Show. The big story tonight, woke Christmas chaos, from segregated Christmas parties to forcing Santa into a nativity scene to a satanic display allowed in a state capitol. The holidays are getting wild with wokeness. First up, Boston's mayor who defended her Christmas party that banned white people.
Are you concerned this lends itself at all to further divisiveness?
We want to be a city where everyone's identity is embraced.
Oh, but now Mayor Wu is boasting about it, posting a picture from the party on Instagram and in the caption writing, quote, "Not too long ago in Boston, we didn't need such a big table to fit electeds of color. I've proudly watched this group grow and create space for mentorship and fellowship among many who are breaking down barriers while holding the weight of being the first or only." And then there is a nativity scene forced to go woke in Iowa, just like this episode of Family Guy.
Time to put up the 2020 Christmas decorations. First, ethnically accurate Jesus goes right here next to Father Mary and Mother Josephine, followed closely by the three genderless wise people on their bird scooters, Tig Notaro for some reason, and of course the little drummer them, because God forbid we call a boy a boy.
Oh, too good. And an atheist group said this nativity scene was, quote, divisive because it was on display on public property at a fire department where it's been for years. The fire department took it down over worries of a lawsuit. Now the nativity scene is back up, but with secular things included like Santa and a reindeer. Oh, thank goodness. Also in Iowa, the state capitol allowing a satanic temple display, essentially recognizing Satanism as a religion. A Christian veteran was so upset by it that he tore it down.
I was surprised that the legislature allowed it up and that they didn't do anything to take it down, just to take it down. It offended me. It touched a nerve. It was, righteous indignation. I'd call it, Christian civil disobedience. So I took the statue that was there and the idol, whatever you want to call it, and then it's no longer there.
Christian civil disobedience. Raymond, I know that you are a lover of Christmas and the holiday season.
I am.
Now, oftentimes conservatives get mocked because we talk about this war on Christmas, but every year the war on Christmas continues. What do you think, though? Because I struggle with this one.
Yeah.
Should the Satanists or the atheist group, should they be able to have a display at a state capitol? Is that their right? I mean, constitutionally, maybe it is.
Look, it is something you have to wrestle with because free speech is free speech. However, religious expression is something we hold dear. Christmas is a beloved, holy and sacred season for the majority of Americans. You have to take that into consideration. And again, time and place is important when you're talking about a display like a satanic one in the midst of Christmas. Right. They chose the 2 weeks leading up to Christmas as the time when they petitioned for their little satanic display in the Iowa State House. This is obviously to mock, to ridicule the nativity across the way from it. I think we need to insist on sensitivity. We need to insist on appropriateness. If they want to have a satanic display, do it some other time. We don't allow Klan meetings during MLK days. We don't allow neo-Nazi groups to petition during the Jewish holy days, or we shouldn't, though we're seeing bits of that as well. Yeah. All of this needs to be pushed back. It's un-American. It's un-American. We're mocking sacred holy days, and we need to have sacred space in America. It wasn't ever to be a place free of religion, unlike the group that's fighting for the Iowa nativity thing, or freedom from religion. No, it's freedom of religion, and we need to insist on that again and embrace it. So, I don't know if we should go around destroying monuments because next thing they'll be beating up the baby Jesus and hitting Mary over the head. Yeah. So I think that goes a bit too far, but there should be legal and civil remedies for this kind of outrage, and it is an outrage to have that satanic altar. It's not just a statue, it's an altar to Satan.
So I want to take a look now, speaking of that, because this continues. There's a lot of this going on. Christmas is unfortunately a very divisive time of year for some, but we have the Toledo mayor on the timing of the nativity scene, also with the satanic display at the Capitol. Let's take a look at this quote. "I don't think it's a mere coincidence. I think it's just the times that we're living in. The timing is ironic. This is unfortunate that we're even having this conversation." But Katie, I want to ask you, because going back to the nativity scene, so the group, we know these atheist groups every year, they have an issue with these displays, but then what they do is they just add a Santa and a reindeer next to it, and all of a sudden that makes it better. What say you? Does the Santa and the reindeer make everything constitutionally sound?
I think it's unfortunate that every year around this time, these groups come out to try and ruin Christmas for people who celebrate in a religious way, people maybe who celebrate in a more secular way. Why can't you just let people have their fun and not be trying to put up a Satan next to their display? I mean, it just comes down to common decency and having some, nice rapport with your fellow human being. But I was actually more focused on the Boston mayor and this government-mandated and funded party she's having of segregation. I mean, this is a country that has fought very hard for decades to desegregate society. I mean, it used to be illegal to have Christmas parties with people of the opposite, with a different race. And now she is purposely segregating people and calling it somehow a victory. And so it just seems like we're going backwards in that. And it's so disruptive, it's divisive in the workplace, and it's completely against e pluribus unum, which is out of many one. And so for governments and mayors to be pitting people against each other based on skin color seems unconstitutional itself as well.
It also, Griff, seems maybe like somewhat illegal. I mean, I can't imagine. And I'm sure if this were the other way around, perhaps it would be more of a spotlight on the legality of sending out an email. But what's interesting here is that the white people, the 7 white people, they weren't even supposed to know about this special electeds of color only party. But unfortunately, the mayor's aide sent it out to everybody with an inclusive attitude, and then had to send another email saying, "Sorry for the confusion. Yes, we still want to have our segregated Christmas party. We don't want the white people there, but we're sorry for the confusion. And, if it happened to offend you, I guess, oh well." But what do you make of this? If it were the other way around, if this was a white Christmas only, can you imagine the outcry in Boston, in any liberal city, in any city? There should be an outcry.
Look, this is the story of the week that you'd fall under absurdity. And by the way, it's always the cover-up, right? It's the fact that the staffer quickly sent an email and said, no, wait, you're white. Don't come. That's you. You can't. Howie Carr, the conservative columnist, I think put it best writing about it this week, saying, Mayor Wu is dreaming of a non-white Christmas. And in fairness to Mayor Wu, you had some of the members, the minority members weighing in the press saying, well, this is outrageous. This is a white grievance card, non-issue, because we've been doing it for more than a decade. It's like, hold on, full stop. You've been doing it for a decade, and that makes it okay that you're going to, in 2023, have a holiday party with elected leaders on government property. It's in Parkham Hall on Beacon Hill, a very elegant place to hold it. It's like basically if you were having the White House Christmas party, and yet you can't have white people allowed there based on denied, as you point out, on the color of their skin. It's the wrong message to send in this time of day. And I think really, honestly, she's a Harvard-educated, she's a social justice warrior. And so all these great things to make the world better until it involves white people, come on.
I mean, it's state-sanctioned discrimination.
Well,
it is illegal.
They say there were no city funds spent. But as you said, look at the location. Was the assistant who sent out the invites paid by the city? Yes. This is clearly city affiliated and sanctioned, if not
someone should sue.
Paid for.
It's discrimination.
But what does this do to the morale of the council, though, when you realize that you've been excluded based on your skin color alone?
Whites need not apply.
You're not
I guess,
a part
at
of
that
the special
Christmas party.
group. I can't imagine what that does for the unity and the cohesion of a council that's supposed to work together to do important things.
Given how much white guilt that liberals have, maybe they would be fine with it.
Had they brought a nativity scene to the party, it would have been outlawed instantly. That's the solution.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.